Hello everyone, my name is Hugo and welcome back to my channel. I got my mic, so we're all good this time. I hope it works anyway. So today, exciting video. I know I'm a bit late, but I pre-ordered this. You've seen the title. We're going to do a review of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I pre-ordered this, but it came in the mail like a week later, and then I was reading something else, so it took me a while to get to this. But, oh boy, am I glad I did. I don't know if you can see it, but I never annotate, and you can see the annotations, so it's gotta be good. Yeah, this review is gonna be spoiler free, so don't worry about that. Yeah, let's just get into it. This book, we follow Ryland Grace, who is a science teacher in a school, and he wakes up in a sort of odd room with a computer monitoring him, and this robot voice slash computer voice is asking his name. And he finds out that he doesn't know. So he doesn't know his name, he doesn't know how he got there, he doesn't know. He knows science, so he knows certain things and he still knows his language, but he has amnesia about other stuff. Through memory flashes, and we read them as flashbacks, we find out, and Ryland also finds out as we go along, what happened to him and how he got there. It turns out he's in space, like that's not really a spoiler, it's on the cover. So it turns out he's in space, and little by little, like, he remembers his name, and then he knows more and more. And then he also like discovers why he's there and what he actually has to do or is doing, right? That's more or less the plot without spoiling anything. This book was very science heavy. All the science is like explained really well, but in a way that is very accessible, so you don't have to have a science degree or anything to understand what's going on. And so if you don't really like reading about science, or if that's not really something that would interest you, or that's like very tiring to you or something, or not the reason why you read, then this book might not be for you, but obviously it is for me. But yeah, all the science is very well explained, and in a way that it like all makes sense, even to people like me who don't have a degree in science, obviously. This book is very comparable to The Martian, same author, obviously, and it's very comparable in the way that the science is explained, I think. In The Martian, we follow Mark Watney, and he has to do certain stuff, and he explains it to himself, because it's like keeping a log. Here it's more or less the same, although he's not keeping a log, but because he's alone, he's talking to himself, talking to us. So in that sense, it's like comparable that the science is explained in kind of the same way. But yeah, that it's comparable to The Martian is definitely a good thing, because The Martian, if you've been following this channel, is one of my favorite books of all time, if not my favorite book of all time. It's always tricky to pick a favorite of all time, but The Martian is definitely like top 3. Project Hail Mary, like The Martian, is also very funny. I found myself chuckling and laughing out loud like a couple of times throughout the whole book. The annotations I did are for the most part parts where I had to chuckle or I had to laugh. And I would have done more if I like started earlier, but like the first part, because I never annotated. But like I found myself laughing so much that I was like, I gotta keep these pages, like to remember. I can't really read a lot of them out loud because it would spoil stuff. So yeah, it's very funny, which is a good thing. I like myself a funny book, but it's also, the plot itself is also really good. It's not just a comedy, obviously. So I really like the story in this. I really like the ending of this. It was very satisfying. So to whom would I recommend this book? If you read, first of all, if you read The Martian, or even if you've just seen the movie The Martian and you liked it, you're gonna love this. No questions asked. I have no doubt about that. But if you've never read The Martian but you love sci-fi, you're gonna love it. If you don't love sci-fi or fantasy, but like more realistic books like contemporary fiction, is that the word? Like modern fiction, you're still gonna like this, because it's not sci-fi as in space operas. It's not like people with space guns or things like that. So it's not like that. Also, if you watched the movie Interstellar by Christopher Nolan and you like that one, you're gonna love this one too. A side note, this book, there's coming they're working on a movie, and Ryland Grace, the main character, is gonna be played by Ryan Gosling. So it's gonna be a huge movie like The Martian was. So in conclusion, this book is by far the best book I've read this year, and it might be, like, it takes some time to decide that stuff, but it might be one of my favorite books of all time already. So yeah, it's needless to say, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, if I could give it more, I would. This book was everything I hoped it to be and more. Yeah, I haven't read Artemis by Andy Weir, but I bought it on Kindle after this one. I hear that it's not as good as The Martian, but I'm gonna read it anyway. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. It's so good. Read this. I would recommend this to anyone, really, unless you really hate reading about science. Then I wouldn't recommend this. Does that make sense? So that was my review of Project Hail Mary by The Martian. No. So that was my review of Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like. Did you read this? Leave a comment of what you think. Try to keep it maybe spoiler free for if people were watching this review without having read the book. Keep the comments spoiler free, please, or leave a major spoiler alert and some enters so people don't read it, right? Keep that in mind. Without further ado, I'm gonna leave this video here. I'm standing up because I was moving around my couch and I didn't feel like putting the couch back and everything. Also, isn't that clever? Wearing my NASA shirt for this review. So yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. I do reviews, I do recommendation videos, and whatever. You can check out my channel if you are new here, and subscribe if you liked it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.